To help project managers with their endeavors, there are several software solutions available out there. If you ask me, I would say there are hundreds of solutions out there. One of them is Microsoft Project. What we are going to do today is we will build our project that we conceptualized in the previous lecture in MS Project and understand the basics of this software. If you open Project 2016 on your computers, you will see something very similar that you're looking at on this screen. Now, Microsoft Project is a software that allows project managers to plan their projects and then track the progress of their project while the project is going. Remember, a project is considered complete if it's completed on time, within budget, and it is fulfilling all the requirements that were planned for a particular project. Hence, this software is designed to help project managers track the time, the cost, and the scope of the project. This particular interface that you're looking at is a general interface where on the left side, the task interface where we put the task breakdown, also called as work breakdown structure, and on the right side you see this calendar. It is called the Gantt chart view. So let's start building our project that we conceptualized in our previous lecture and see how it's going to look like in Microsoft Project. We enter our tasks and their durations and their dependencies on the left-hand side of the Gantt chart view. So let's start by entering our first task. Our first task was to interview company employees. So we are just going to enter interview company employees. I'm just going to enter the task, all of the tasks first, and then we're going to talk about how entering durations and predecessors. After that, we said we are also going to read the company reports. The third task was we would research existing solutions. Then we said we would analyze requirements and we will make our project plan. Then we would design the system, we would develop and test the system. Then we're going to go towards the implementation of the system and training the users on the system, that how to use it and what not to do with the system. And then we're going to go towards project closing. Now each task had a duration. The first task was we estimated to take about 2 weeks. Second task would take 1 week. Third task would take 1 week. Fourth task we estimated to take 4 weeks. Our fifth task was estimated to take 8 weeks. Our sixth task was estimated to take 6 weeks, followed by 2 weeks for implementation and user training and 1 week for closing. Now you see the start and the finish. We can actually automate this part where Microsoft Project would actually determine start and finish based on the duration we've entered. To do that, if we select all the tasks and in our task tab we click auto schedule, Microsoft Project would pick today's date or the first working date, which is Monday, and start scheduling and putting durations in. Now the next thing we have to do is enter predecessors. Now we did know, or we did determine which tasks depend on other tasks to be completed first so they can be started. We determined that the first and the second task could be started in parallel, so they weren't dependent on each other. However, our third task was dependent on our first 2 tasks. So we are going to enter as task 1 into the predecessor of task 3. The fourth task depended on the completion of the third task. Fifth task was dependent on the completion of the fourth task. Development and testing of a system dependent on the complete analysis as well as the design of the system. So fourth and fifth tasks are the predecessors of task 6. Task 6 is a predecessor of task 7, and task 8 has a predecessor of task 7. Now, as you can see, as I have put in the predecessors, Microsoft Project has developed these connections or lines on the Gantt chart view showing which tasks depend on which task's completion to be started first. Now, with this information, we are ready to determine the duration of the project. Now, as you can see, we can't see the duration of the project yet. So to calculate or know the duration of the project, I'm going to select all my tasks, and in my task tab, I'm going to click Summary. Now, what Summary has done is it has, after accounting for all the dependencies, giving me a duration of the project as a summary, and I'm going to just double click on this added task and name it as my billing project, because that's what it is. So my billing project would take about 120 days, which is actually correct. We calculated the same number of days or duration through our network diagram, which gave us 24 weeks, and each week has 5 working days. 24 into 5 is 120 days. Now, while Microsoft Project developed a Gantt chart view, it also developed a network diagram, and to access the network diagram, you have to click Gantt chart and network diagram. And as you can see, it is very similar to the one we developed with all the information of task name, its duration, start and finish date, and so forth. And the red in the network diagram is representing the critical tasks. Now, the critical tasks are the one that must start on their allocated time and must finish on their allocated time. We cannot delay them. If we do, then it is going to jeopardize the project duration, and the project might not finish on a scheduled time.